Well, England games are always tough, as we saw last week. The Buffalo Bills totally laid an egg against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think that's something to do with the travel, obviously. It's different playing in London on Sunday morning than it is playing in the United States. But I'm going to lean towards the Ravens here. I know they're injured. I know they're beat up. But the fact of the matter is they must be sick to their stomach right now and can't wait to play football after that Pittsburgh Steelers loss. That should never happen. They had that game in the bag, and you can't afford to give games up like that in the NFL. So I think they have a little extra motivation coming into this game. And they've been very good on the defensive side of the ball, and that's going to make the difference in London, when I think both offenses will struggle here. When you look at their defense, they rank first in defensive real passing yards per attempt, according to coldhardfootballfacts.com. They're not giving up the long pass play down the field. They're also getting sacks and getting pressure on the quarterback, and that's something the Tennessee Titans with Ryan Tannehill aren't going to handle very well. On defense, we looked at Tennessee last year. They were very good against the run and terrible against the pass. We're starting to see that same thing again, but they're not as good against the run this season as they were last year. So I think Lamar Jackson's going to have a big day. He's going to have to will this team to victory, and the defense is going to have to step up. But overall, the Ravens are a much better team. And with that extra motivation after losing last week to the Steelers and the way that it happened, I think they're going to come in and dominate this football game and win by at least a touchdown. I'm still going to be on the 49ers, but I agree with you. As this line continues to creep north, it's one that you might want to stay away from. But when you look at this 49ers team, they're amazing. They're efficient in every single area of the game. They can run the football well. Brock Purdy is playing better than nearly every quarterback in the NFL right now. And then on defense, they're an absolute nightmare to deal with. I know Nick Chubb's injured, obviously, but you could give me a healthy Nick Chubb, a Browns team that's playing great football, Deshaun Watson back when he was in Houston. I'm still going to be on the 49ers in this spot just because they're the better team. I think the Browns present some challenges, and we're going to see one Sunday that the 49ers are in a tough game with a team that they really shouldn't be in a game with. That's just the fact of the matter in the NFL. But I'm going to lean towards the San Francisco 49ers here. Brock Purdy is the reason in this spot. We saw on Sunday Christian McCaffrey was pretty much neutralized by the Dallas Cowboys, and they still dominated the game just because of Christian McCaffrey. He threw for 270 yards. He had a few touchdowns. He was fantastic. And the throws that he was making blew my mind. He was fitting the ball into some very tight windows. So if he could do that against the Dallas Cowboys with those guys coming at him, he's going to be able to handle that pass rush for the Cleveland Browns. And this offensive line is playing better than any other unit in the NFL. So that also works into his favor and this team favorite as a whole. So I'm going to lean towards the Niners with the big spread here. I'm going to lean on the over in this spot. The Miami Dolphins, I've been not their biggest fan this season. Yes, they're one of the best offenses in the NFL. They can run the field. They're fast. They're efficient. And they can get the ball down the field to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. But the problem with them is they don't play really good defense. A few stats here from coldhardfootballfacts.com. They're ranked 29th in defensive real quarterback rating. That's terrible. They rank 27th in total team yards allowed. That includes special team yards as well. So they're really not getting the job done in 2 of 3 phases. That means they're going to give up points when they play a good team. I'm not saying the Panthers are going to put up a ton of points. The Panthers might make them look like the best defense in the NFL, because how many 5'11" quarterbacks have worked out, right? How many 5'10" quarterbacks? I can name a few off the top of my head, but other than that, we're not seeing that development from Bryce Young that the Panthers wanted to see early on in his career, at least. So I think I'm going to go over here just because Miami's going to score points, and I think the Panthers can contribute 20 points off this Miami Dolphins defense. If they don't, I still feel confident in this over. We've seen the Dolphins score 70 points against the Denver Broncos, so if they can do it against Denver, they have a chance to do it against Carolina, which their defense isn't that much better. So love this over 47.5. I think it's a very fair total. Yeah, we've seen the line move from 3.5 to 3. Actually, as I was sending picks in for today, it was 3.5 in the morning, and it went down to 3. So we look at this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. They have a lot of upside coming into this game. First of all, they're coming off the bye week. That plays a huge factor. They're rested, they're ready to go, and they have extra time to prepare for Dan Campbell's team. They're wearing the creamsicle jerseys. I got to throw that in there. I'm sure they're going to be pumped up to play. I'm sure Tampa Bay is going to be ready to go and ready to watch this team play. And then Baker Mayfield, you have to talk about him. He's been so good this season. And I know we're still early on, but he ranks 6th in real quarterback rating, according to Cold Hard Football Facts. He's not doing anything spectacular in the sense of racking up a ton of yardage every game, but he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league right now. He's not forcing the ball, and he is taking what the defense gives him. And if you do that in the NFL, you give your team a chance to win. It's very simple. The recipe is not hard. Don't turn the ball over, play good defense, and you can win in the NFL. On the flip side for the Detroit Lions, It's a very good team. Jared Goff also playing very efficient football. He ranks fourth in real quarterback rating, according to Cold Hard. But when I look at this matchup overall, I think the Buccaneers can tame this Detroit Lions defense. They rank second in total team yards allowed. They're very good in the special teams game as well. I know the Eagles game didn't look it for their special teams. It wasn't the best showing there, but they can still play football in 2 of 3 aspects very well. And then offense, they're not going to score a ton of points here, so they need to neutralize Detroit, but they have the team to go down and score when they need to in this spot behind Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So look for the Buccaneers to cover here. I think they could potentially win outright. The 3-point home dog number is fair, but I'm still going to lean towards the Buccaneers.